Those with a thirst for adventure will find a home among Alaska's bush people. Noah Brown is one of the most intriguing. Many people are captivated by his enormous beard and boundless creativity, which have inspired him to seek out new horizons. Any moment, Noah is in the company of his furry pet constructing a treehouse or exploring the mountains. It is an adventure. His enthusiastic nature and insatiable curiosity never cease to amaze those who follow him. Nevertheless, the current celebrity has startled his followers. Noah has left the family farm. Nobody saw this coming, and now everyone is wondering whether he has abandoned his loved ones. Has he discovered a new adventure, or is he just sick of being off the grid? The fate of Noah Brown, the protagonist of Alaskan bush people, has to be resolved. Wild and insane antics on Alaskan bush people are loved by everybody, especially Noah. The Brown family is the focus of the American reality show Alaskan Bush People, which follows them as they attempt to make it in the bush, far from civilization. On May 6, 2014, the Discovery Channel was the first to telecast it. Chichagof Island, Hoonah, and Copper Center are in the vicinity of Alaska where the episode was shot. Seasons 2 and 3 took place in Washington's Okanogan County. All the Brown relatives' lives are chronicled in it. Critics have said it's not genuine and is really a manufactured version of a reality program. The news of the show's renewal for a 10th season broke in April 2019 on Radar Online. Season 11, which debuted on December 4, 2019, was renewed on November 13th. Starting on August 23, 2020, Season 12 began. The family's house was burned in the 2020 Washington wildfires, according to an Instagram post by cast member Bear Brown in August of that year. After suffering a seizure on February 7, 2021, patriarch Billy Brown passed away at the age of 68. Based on an investigation by the Alaska Department of Revenue, the Browns were charged by a Juneau grand jury on October 3, 2014, with 60 charges of first-degree unsworn falsification pertaining to permanent fund dividend forms and first- and second-degree theft spanning from 2009 to 2012. Between 2010 and 2013, Billy faced 24 accusations of theft of more than $21,000 in dividend funds. The authorities found out that the family misrepresented on their applications and spent more than 180 days a year outside of Alaska. Billy and Joshua reached a plea bargain on November 18, 2015, for the whole family with the exception of Matt and Rain. Matt wasn't a resident and didn't submit paperwork, and Rain was too little. They joined the rest of the family in pleading guilty to filling out false PFD applications. After stealing more than $21,000, Billy and Joshua were sentenced to 30 days of house imprisonment at a Juneau hotel, penalties and restitution. As a jungle dweller, Noah Brown is an expert at subsisting on what he finds and coming up with wild solutions. Constructing makeshift homes out of wood, going on forest hunts, and fishing with little more than his own hands, he's like a living, breathing MacGyver in the great outdoors. Noah wins over millions of viewers with his impressive survival abilities as he deftly negotiates dangerous animals and snowy landscapes. Hold for a second. That scraggly beard isn't trying to trick you. How this fierce person came to be is a mystery. The Brown family of Texas welcomed their son Noah into the world on July 18, 1992. Because of his adventurous father, the family uprooted and made their home in Alaska, namely in the Copper River Valley. The 12-year-old Noah and his 6 siblings spent their formative years in the great outdoors. His Christian parents instilled in him and his siblings a strong work ethic and an appreciation for nature. Unlike other schoolboys, Noah had an extraordinary upbringing. He learned to subsist only on wild foods he found in the forest, which he explored by fishing, hunting, and exploring. Amy educated Noah at home since his mother was adamant about his getting an education, but the family just couldn't afford it. As children, he and his siblings lived in a primitive society that had limited access to contemporary conveniences. He out-experienced most individuals his age due to his early exposure to crazy experiences and the fact that he only ever played with his siblings. The Browns were able to survive and even prosper in the face of severe resource scarcity because of the close bonds within their family. They overcame obstacles such as Amy's fight with lung cancer and kept on enjoying life in the Alaskan wilderness. Until 2014, when the Discovery Channel reached out to them, the family went unrecognized in Alaska. The network decided to give them a reality TV program since their story was so interesting and different. After receiving approval from the Brown family, the program debuted in May of that year. Noah became famous in Alaska after the first episode. It became clear that Noah Brown is an adventurous, courageous, and brave man who is not afraid to face danger head-on. By depending on his cunning and ability to stay alive, he displayed the untamed beauty of Alaska. His admirers thought it was cool that he could show off his hunting prowess while also constructing solid wood and branch homes, beds made of moss and animal fur, and other interesting things. Along with demonstrating his magical fire-starting skills using flint and dry twigs, he went food hunting. But when Noah encountered those challenges, that's when everyone was waiting with bated breath. The severe weather was the first. Food supplies were short since filming in sub-zero temps made hunting and fishing very difficult. Spending long periods of time alone in his shelters, Noah had to carefully manage his food and water supplies. But on one occasion, he was lucky when he found a stash of goods that someone else had left behind. He was able to make it through the brutal winter days after that because he restocked his supplies. Things weren't always easy for Noah. At one point, he ran upon a band of local hunters who claimed he had poached on their property. They warned that he will be reported to the police for allegedly utilizing unlawful traps. Noah attempted to reassure them, but they were unconcerned. To clear his name, he decided to install security cameras around his hiding place. In addition to chopping open his hand and requiring self-surgery, he barely avoided being attacked by a grizzly bear while fixing fishing nets. Despite all that happened, Noah had his sense of humor and would frequently joke about things that might have killed him. His admirers remained loyal because of his perseverance. Noah and his brothers were having fun living in the woods, and the show was doing well. However, tragedy struck in season 14. In February of 2021, after a seizure, Noah's father, Billy Brown, died, according to his brother Bear Brown. For Noah and his family, this loss was a tremendous setback. Everything changed for the program thereafter. Billy, I will miss you forever. But hold on a second. The Browns and Noah were in for an even worse surprise. After what happened at the conclusion of season 13, nobody felt good. Tragically, a fire broke out in the idyllic alpine home of the untamed reality TV stars in the gorgeous highlands of Okanogan County, Washington, while they were unwinding. The result was a scorching wasteland. Their idyllic retreat became a hellish inferno, but they wasted no time and bolted out of there like a jackrabbit on Red Bull. Even though it seemed like a scenario from an action film, Noah and his family had a hard time leaving their house. Even though the fire was finally extinguished after a week, their shelter was completely gutted. The Brown family went back to Alaska after the fire, but they found a drastically different place. Billy Brown's untimely death, which befell the family even more, occurred a few months later. No matter how many times Noah saw the program, he was always uneasy. For the sake of his family's safety, education, and access to better facilities, he made the decision to leave the homestead and relocate to the city. Since he left his family and the homestead to pursue his late father's goal, some admirers are still wondering why he did it. Noah published a lengthy Instagram post in which he detailed his reasons for leaving Alaska. The consequences of the blaze forced them to relocate, he informed his admirers. The Palmer Mountain fire destroyed almost all of their possessions, forcing them to rent a new home. North Star Ranch, he said, would remain their home forever, but they would have to relocate if they wanted to live sustainably. The famous person and his girlfriend, Rain, have taken up residence in Washington state with their adorable baby, Elijah. They will shortly have a second kid. Despite the devastation caused by the wildfire, they have found refuge in a comfortable rental home. Despite abandoning the aspirations of the Brown family, Noah is establishing a reputation for himself in the Pacific Northwest. The villagers and his new buddies are falling in love with his rugged good looks and engaging demeanor. Things have just become more interesting with the arrival of baby Adam. A fresh start seems to be in Noah's future. In addition to being a fearless explorer, he has a gift for music and enjoys playing the piano and guitar. His interest in history and science belies his homeschooling background. He is intelligent and articulate. His distinctive sense of style, which includes donning sarongs and kilts, gives him a distinct character, and his admirers will adore him forever. As viewers of Alaskan Bush People may recall, Noah Brown and his family have left the ancestral farm. In favor of more comfortable living conditions, Noah has joined his brothers in leaving their mountain home. The family's forced evacuation of the mountain in the August 2020 season finale was a major plot point that garnered national attention as a wildfire ravaged Okanogan County, Washington, for days. Billy Brown had a seizure in February and tragically went away at the age of 68. The Wolfpack remembered Billy's life as one in which he followed his passions and brought joy to others around him, and they grieved his loss while also celebrating his life. Although his father had wished for all of his children to remain in Browntown, Noah decided to go his own way and turned to Instagram to explain to his fans why. He wanted to clarify things in a lengthier caption than normal. The reality star and his wife Rain relocated due to the difficulties they encountered after the wildfire, not due to any family issues the celebrity stressed. According to Noah, they decided to start renting a home after losing almost everything in the Palmer Mountain wildfire. In an effort to put his supporters' minds at ease, Noah shared a snapshot of the trees outside his former home and detailed his predicament. Even though they were only there for a short time, he assured them that the Mountain and North Star Ranch would remain their permanent homes. He added in his caption, "Rain and I lost everything in the Palmer Mountain wildfire, so we're renting a house until we can rebuild." The couple thanked everyone who had prayed for them and shown support during this difficult time. Even though they usually don't post much, the Alaskan Bush People stars took to social media to announce they were expecting again, and in October of 2021, they welcomed son Adam. Elijah, their kid, is 3 years old. There was a great deal of turmoil in the Brown family last year. Matt Brown revealed the show's falsity by claiming that, with the aid of producers, his parents introduced him to cocaine. Meanwhile, Raven Adams and Bear Brown's troubled relationship came to an end once more. Season 14 viewers of Alaskan Bush People have been keeping a careful eye on all these changes. To launch their hauling company, the Browns acquired a large boat, but it was unfit for the water due to its shaky construction. With Billy's encouragement, the family set out to fix it up as soon as possible. Nevertheless, let us center our attention on the bond between Noah and Christy. Throughout the course of the show's 3 seasons, Noah has emerged as the more delicate younger sibling. His self-made desk, where he spends time in solitude contemplating poetry and ideas, serves as evidence in this episode. Because when you write a letter, you put a little of your soul in it. He thinks a letter is the proper way to begin a formal connection. Christy and Noah go on their second date to Hoonah for milkshakes around 1 week after Noah sends a touching letter to her. The discussion about the milkshake's thickness, that they could need spoons, sounds more like a chat between long-married spouses. The evening might have been boring if Noah hadn't suggested that Christy meet his mom, Amy. In a recorded interview, Noah reveals that he wanted her to meet his family as they make their way to the docks to meet the Browns, explaining that this is the traditional way to transition from dating to courting. But the main thing is that courting usually leads to marriage, he continues. Upon meeting Christy, Amy inquires as to her feelings on children. Things start to become uncomfortable on this second date. Christy and Noah's breakup occurs around 10 minutes into the show or a few weeks after the fact in real life. This information is gleaned via a conversation that Noah and his dad Billy had. In his highly emotional speech, Noah says things like, "I thought it was her, the one I was looking for," and "soulmates don't hurt each other." At that point, I felt like Billy Brown was someone I knew for the first time in the whole Alaskan Bush People series. For a while I think the only heart I'm going to have is the one on my shelf, Noah remarks while referring to Christy, his eyes wandering to the deer hearts preserved in mason jars. Well, Billy says, okay, that's just creepy. Billy is scolding his kid for being too eccentric instead of trying to get anything done. A perfect fit for me. After Noah pulls his heart out of storage, I want to be called to cover the If Alaskan Bush People stays on TV for another decade. I believe he will recover. What Noah has given his admirers will endure long after he has left the homestead, even if he did not fulfill his father's wish that he remain there permanently. Watch what happens to the Brown family. No one knows whether he will ever go back to the Alaskan wilderness. I appreciate you tuning in. Become a subscriber if you like the video and would want to see more interesting videos with interesting facts and tales. Until our next video, take care.